Good evening, Dr. Clemens and fellow cohorts. I'm Penny Williams, and I am here to share information about the person I interviewed, Mr. Kevin Levent. Kevin is the president and CEO of Better Home and Gardens Real Estate Metro Brokers, which is the largest franchise of Better Home and Gardens Real Estate in the world, right here in Atlanta. I've been with the company since 2013, and I love working with Kevin and Craig and the entire staff of corporate and the sales agents that I do know. One of the things that I love the most about Kevin and why I felt it was important to interview him is because of his management style and the interaction that he has with the people of his company. Kevin appreciates and values people. He's an authentic leader, and that's one of the things I recognized immediately upon meeting him back in 2013. He remembered my name, and the next time I saw him, he asked me about my children, and he takes time to really engage with the people of his company. He became the president of the company in 1996, and he had been a successful agent with the company for 12 years before that, and he was the consecutive top producer for 6 years for the entire company. So always has been very successful. However, it was at a very early age. I believe he was 13 years old, and he had a crucible moment. He was playing hide and seek with a friend and was on a lawnmower and backed up, and the brakes didn't work, something happened, and he went over a little cliff. And he was in the hospital for over a month, and he had to learn how to walk. It took him 6 months to learn how to walk again. But during that process of being in the hospital, he realized that he did not ever in life ever want to have to rely on anyone to do anything for him ever again. So just from the standpoint of not being able to walk and recovering, it was very, very hard on him, especially being so young. He also had to go through a trial hearing where they sued the Fortune 100 company, which of course their attorneys were there, and he had to serve as a witness in his own court case so that his family could get the resources to pay his medical bill because they did not have insurance. So that was a very traumatic experience for him. After that time, Kevin did whatever it took to have whatever he needed financially in terms of jobs. He babysat kids and teenagers and whoever else he had to babysit, adults, older people. He worked at a grocery store. He sold cookies. He did everything. He wasn't afraid to work. And the fact that he knows what it takes to get it done, adds more value. There are so many people who, may have a silver spoon and just delegate and manage over people. But because he's been through so much himself, he knows that it's not easy. But because he's done the grunt work and the hard work and he's gotten his hands dirty, he knows what it takes. And I value that in him as a leader. Another story that he shared with me that I felt was very courageous and very astute, and just as a leader, just a wise decision. In order to keep his doors open when the market crashed, Kevin went to his management team and he asked everyone if they would take a paycheck cut on their paychecks. And the majority of the people said yes. I think he said only a couple of people said no, and they left the company. But he was able to keep the doors open of his company during that recession because people were willing to take less so that they can help more. And that says a lot. He had the hindsight to prepare for that and work through that. And consequently, the majority of the people that are with the company have been with the company and stay with the company because of the way that he treats his team. Within his management style, he has several departments, and every department has a department head, and they meet weekly. And everyone shares the information from their department so that they can find better ways to operate within the structure of the company. And they make decisions. Once he gets all of the information, he makes the decisions on what direction they're going to go. But everyone has buy-in and everybody has input. And I think that's valuable when you can appreciate what someone brings to the table, and he recognizes that. So he interviews everyone who comes into corporate, not the agents, but just the corporate staff. And he tells them that for 30 days, you cannot have an idea. And he says that because he wants them to understand how the company operates instead of just coming in and trying to change things. You have to have a better understanding how things work before you can change them. He'll entertain any idea, but you have to present all the facts and figures and everything about that idea before he'll implement it. He wants to make sure that you know what it takes to make that happen. So he includes everybody in the process from start to finish. Had a lot of fun interviewing Kevin. He actually came to the interview with the questions with typed answers. He literally typed out all of the answers to the questions. And I learned quite a bit about him. I definitely will share more with you, Dr. Clemens, in the actual paper. But this was a very fun project for me, and had a great time. We talked for about an hour and a half, and it was very insightful. And there were things that he said he had completely forgotten about, but really enjoyed the process as well. So hope you all enjoy. Have a great evening, and I look forward to hearing everyone else's podcast. Good night.